Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Mike Babcock here with my guy Mojo. Mojo, we have been waiting to talk to this man for days now. Not only is he one of the absolutely most dangerous, most talented fighters in the whole world, he's also one of the best guys in sports and had an incredible win at UFC Fight Night Saturday night, Mojo. You were actually there sitting octagon side just feet away. We welcome to the show Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Stephen, brother, how are you? How are you feeling, man?
Man, I'm all smiles these days. All smiles. I'm feeling great, man. I'm feeling great. As you can tell, got a little bumps and bruises, some
Yeah.
some stitches, got a
Stephen,
broken hand. But let me
that
tell
hand
you,
looks like a balloon when you held it
I
up.
know it looks fake. Have you seen the movie Nutty Professor?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of, right? But
What
it's all worth it.
what were the injuries, Stephen? I know you've seen some doctors, obviously, make sure everything was okay. What are you dealing with, Stephen?
Well, at the moment, I mean, my face is actually feeling pretty good right now. It's not too bad, and it heals up. I'm like Wolverine. My dad calls me Wolverine. I heal up fairly quick anyway. But I ended up breaking the first and second metacarpal in my left hand. So no surgery, which is awesome, but may have to have a cast for a few months or two. So right now I'm on a 6 month suspension, but hopefully we can heal up before then and get back after it.
So both of you broke your hands punching each other during this fight, and
Oh
that's
yeah.
if you didn't see the fight, that's probably just a good indication of how great of a fight it was. When did the injury happen, Stephen? And was it hard to then throw punches with that hand as it was all busted up?
No, so this is the second time I've broken my hands mid-fight. I fought Vicente Luque about 2 years ago, broke both my hands in the first round, and I felt it then. During this fight, I didn't feel it until I took the gloves off. I took the gloves off and I kind of clenched my fist, and I felt some crunching. I was like, that that seems familiar. Feels familiar. So I knew it was broken then and there. But during the fight, didn't know it at all. That adrenaline was going. It was
Dude,
working.
how could it not? That entire arena was going absolutely bonkers. I was sitting there, second row, ringside. My goodness, what luck I had. Not only the fight of the night, this is likely to be the fight of the year. I mean, how much did the crowd rocking and rolling, you know, take over for you, able to numb away that pain from the shots to the face. We saw the videos of you getting all stitched up and with the hand. I gotta think the crowd played a factor in that one, at least a little bit.
This is why I love that. I'm so glad that we're back in, arenas where people can come and check it out. Right. I fought twice at the Apex where there are no fans, and it's just not the same, man. When you're out there and you hear the oohs and the ahs every time you throw a kick or it races across your opponent's face, it fires you up, man. It gets you out there, and the bumps and bruises, like I said, it goes away. When you hear the crowd go out there, it fires you up in some way that you can't really explain. And I know what that feels like personally, right? Man, it's on another level, that's for sure.
Stephen, I think that was Mojo trying to take credit for your win by
Yes, that
saying,
was
"Hey, I
all
was
me.
in the crowd." How
I
much
heard
did the
you, man.
crowd?
I heard you the whole time.
So where do you go from here now, Stephen? What's the plan? If people wanted to see if you still had it, I think they know now that you do still have it. In fact, where do you go from here? Who do you want next? What do you have you allowed yourself to think about what the next move is?
Well, I mean, I'm always thinking. There was a few names that were thrown at me. Um, you know, After the fight during media was Conor McGregor, obviously. We had a guy who I fought before, but people would love to see again. That is George Masvidal. The BMF versus the NMF, I think, would
Yeah.
be spectacular, and he always brings it. And there's another striker who's phenomenal, a guy named Michelle Pajeda, who
Yeah.
does all the flips and stuff in the cage. So obviously, the title is always number one at the top of the list. But I think the UFC and the fans realize that when you give me a striker, we're going to get fight of the night. I mean, the last few guys that I fought, Vicente Luque, Jeff Neal, we ended up getting fight of the night, and now Kevin Holland could possibly be fight of the year. But I'm on a 6 month suspension at this point, like I said. But hopefully that everything will heal up and I'll get done with physical therapy and treat my body right. We'll get out there sooner than later.
Hey, I think first of all, three of those fights would be fascinating and great. I can imagine, Conor maybe needs a little bit of time, get back in the testing pool, let that leg heal up a little bit more. That would be an absolutely incredible fight. Even the lead up would be interesting, Stephen, with as nice of a guy as you are and Conor's trash talk. I'm fascinated in everything about what that fight could look like.
I'll just smile at him. That's all I'll do. I'll smile at him. So I eat him up with niceness, man. That's what I do. But that's why they call me the NMF. It was a kind of a breath of fresh air facing somebody like Kevin Holland, who was cordial. You know what I mean? I was on his podcast a few weeks before the fight. He was all smiles. He was talking during the fight. He was telling me to slow down. Actually, it was hilarious. But it's great to be able to go out there and face somebody who doesn't have that animosity against you, or some people have to put themselves in that mindset. I've been doing this. I've been fighting since I was 15 years old. Been competing younger than that, and it's to the point now where I just, I don't kind of feed into it, which I know it promotes the fight. It gets the people fired up, but I go out there and just do what I need to do, man, with a smile on my face. That's what I do.
Yeah, and
you're proof you don't need that trash talk too, by the way, to put on a great fight. Go ahead, Mojo.
Yeah, because that was something I wanted to ask you about too, because I don't know if I've ever seen more respect given inside an octagon during a UFC fight. I mean, you could just see it. It was obvious. It was like two best friends having the time of their lives, both breaking their hands in the process. And my goodness, throwing some of the biggest shots I've ever seen. So that doesn't throw you off your game whatsoever. It doesn't get you out of your zone if you're constantly kind of palling around during a fight like that. Seems like your will was kind of ironclad, and no matter what was happening, it wasn't going to.
Thank you. Yeah, man. Well, I look at it this way. There's a few guys that I faced who are buddies of mine. Rory McDonald was one of them. I've done some training with him, and we fought for that #1 contender spot back in the day, a few years back. But I spar my buddies every day, and we get after it. And sometimes they're a little heated, but we're still friends before, and we're at the end of the day, we're still buds. So it was kind of like one of that. It was like another sparring session, but we're trying to hurt each other. We're trying to knock each other out. At the end of the day, it's business. It's all about business. I'd fight my buddy out here in the UFC, and we would go after it. He'll try to knock me out. I'll try to knock him out. But at the end of the day, we know we're going to leave. We're still going to be friends, and with our pockets a little bit more full. And that's what it's about. To be honest with you, I fight for free. I told my dad that. Yeah, I love to compete. I love the fact that doing something that betters me to try to, and that's why I love the sport. Obviously, win's a win, and I want to go for the title, but I love to compete because it's a way to continually to improve myself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I want to be able to see how far I can go with it.
Dana White, if you're listening, Steven's just kidding about the free thing.
Yeah.
Steven, before we let you go, real quick, you got to tell me, what was that conversation with Jack Black?
Oh, man, it was
what was going on?
It almost seemed like it was the very first fight he's ever seen in his life. He's not a violent guy,
no.
But let me tell you, he loved every bit of it. Just sit there and watch him, the oohs and ahs and like what's going on. The comment he made when I hit him below the belt, he's like, he didn't hit him in the nut. It was a belt shot. There was no nut shot. He was hilarious, man. I got to chat with him afterwards. He was disappointed he wasn't able to be there. I know he's on. He's still, he's still in. I think, traveling. You know what I mean with tenacity. So that's what he was doing. But hopefully next time, he said. And I was like, look, I'd be glad you just being there at the fight, man. You ain't got to walk me out. Just be there. I think it would be awesome and hang out afterwards. He's the coolest dude ever. You ever had the chance to meet Jack Black? The coolest guy you've ever met in your life.
That's awesome. Steven, thank you so much for your time. Absolutely an honor to always have you on. We appreciate it. Heal up quick. And any of those three guys, if any of those fights happen, just massive fights. Steven, thank you so much.
Thanks, my friend. I appreciate both you guys. And thanks for coming, my brother. I appreciate you, man.
I got to come to all of them now. The levels
Let's go.
I've had your entrance music, of course, the Tenacious D song Wonderboy stuck in my head nonstop since that fight, and that was days ago. And I don't think
Let's
it's going
go.
anywhere. So
Well, I appreciate you fellas, man. You guys have a good one and happy holidays, man.
Happy holidays, Steve.
happy holidays, brother.